Well, good morning, and thank you all so much for being here with us today. We are at our crime lab, one that we have worked very tirelessly to make happen in the city of New Orleans. You all know better than me that the crime lab in our city was damaged and devastated after Hurricane Katrina in 2005. And it really had a real impact on this community, on our victims of crime, on our ability to tackle and have resources available to us to bring forth real, I would say, crime-fighting strategies, utilizing the facts, and making sure that our officers have all the tools and resources that they need to ensure that the arrests that they make it through the judicial system where accountability truly does rest. In 2020, May of 2020, the city of New Orleans broke ground on this facility. Now, background. Coming in as mayor in May of 2018, there were a lot of projects that were at design but had not started just yet. And there was also resources that the federal government had provided the city of New Orleans, again, in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, to address needs in our community, particularly like our crime lab. At that particular time, in 2018, having not moved these projects, that was something that was on my desk, front and center with the team of the Cantrell administration to make sure that we did what was necessary to move projects along. We learned very quickly as we started to, again, hit that ground that the design, although had made it to 100%, really wouldn't be adequate in terms of serving this community, even again after going through design. But we had to make tough decisions. Do we redesign? Although the city had already spent the money to design. Do we then find additional resources for a redesign? Or do we move forward ensuring that we're doing what we said we would do to our partners at the federal government and demonstrate that the city of New Orleans is focusing on utilizing the federal dollars to make this city whole? So that was a tough decision. And even as I mentioned, May of 2020, we broke ground. That was in the highest points, really, of COVID-19, and understanding that the city of New Orleans, in those times, we were the hot spot. But we never wavered, not only in terms of protecting our residents, but also in regards to standing up resources that are needed to protect our victims and our survivors. And of course, the tools and resources that are needed for our New Orleans Police Department, as well as our criminal justice partners across the board. So here we are. We moved forward, and thank God we did. Because with that demonstration, what followed was a deadline extension tied to those resources, again, that had been made available to the city of New Orleans because the Cantrell administration grabbed the baton, moved projects forward. In addition to that, making sure that we did not waver in ensuring that we hired the right leadership and bringing forward Dr. Kelly to run and lead this crime lab. And also understanding that we would have to put forth additional resources for a redesign. Again, not wavering in that. We made sure that with the redesign, I wanted to wait on Dr. Kelly to get here. Yes, because experience does matter, and someone who is tied to it and with a track record of getting things done, running a lab such as ours, but really building it for the 21st century in one of the only cities in the United States of America that's doing this right now. But leaning on Dr. Kelly, I said, we are not going to redesign anything, again, without your focus, your experience, so that we can make sure that this city gets what she needs, but we do it right. We do it right. Not only that, leaning again even heavierly, I would say, with our Commissioner Stevens, focusing on getting the necessary resources so that we can not only make sure that we build back better, but that we again get the tools, equipment, and resources we need to outfit the space that we're in today. Partnerships, that's the only way that we can make things happen. Focusing on real solutions, that's the only thing that makes progress happening. And we didn't have to look far at all. We found it in our Congressman Troy Carter, who was with us. We found it in Senator Cassidy, who could not be here, but I had really the privilege and the honor to thank him personally on behalf of the city of New Orleans last month in D.C. But our partners are here standing side by side. And the progress that we're going to make in our city is going to be, again, second to none. And the needs are the greatest. We've been utilizing resources with our partners with the state police relative to DNA testing and the like. But what we're doing now and here today is making sure that the city of New Orleans can take care of herself at every stage. And things take time. But also time tells a story, that the city of New Orleans remains focused on improvements and being better than we were from Hurricane Katrina. And next year, 2025, that's 20 years from Katrina. But a real example of how we are remaining focused of building back better. And I can say, listen, from a community leader during those times, right across Broad Street in Broadmoor, to the city council and now as mayor, and still staying focused and understanding again, partnerships is the only way to go. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to our congressman, who understands the spirit of not only collaboration, but the resources that are needed to get the job done. Thank you, Congressman. And you also have our public safety partners standing with me. And we are also embracing what we know is a holistic approach to public safety. So not only resources for equipment for this DNA lab and our crime lab, but for programs to treat root causes, because we understand that it only takes a holistic approach, and that is exactly why we're seeing crime trends go down, and we're leading the country in that direction. So again, without further ado, Congressman Carter. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Big round of applause for our mayor. Madam Mayor, thank you so much, and thank you to your team for the incredible work that they do in supplying and providing us with the resources in Washington to, as a good doctor would say, let us know where it hurts. And it helps us better refine and define and go after dollars to bring back. And it's because of, I've used the word that is so pivotal, partnership. It's because of the partnership in my office and the mayor's office and the police department and Commissioner Stevens, who does an incredible job at making sure that we are hearing the request and we're fighting to bring those dollars. So today is a great day. I'm so happy to be here joining in the battle against violence and crime in our beloved city. I'm proud to stand along our mayor to announce this $963,000 grant for the Office of Criminal Justice Coordination and $2.4 million grant for the equipment for the New Orleans Crime Lab, which we're standing in today. I want to publicly thank Senator Cassidy for being my partner in the efforts to fight for and to bring these resources home. To demonstrate that the safety of our communities, be they Republican, Democrat, or other, is paramount. And we as federal leaders have a responsibility to lean in and to work with our local authorities who are on the ground, frontline troops, making sure that they're doing just that. We know technology moves fast. And in order for us to have good cases, as the mayor suggested, to make sure that we have cases that stick, that can make it all the way through the criminal justice system, we have to have the technology, we have to have the science, we have the ability to make sure that we're arresting and convicting the right people. We have to make sure that we're utilizing DNA and utilizing all of the tools in our arsenal to make sure that we make good cases and we keep bad people off the street while protecting those who are innocent and fighting for justice every single day. We know the cornerstone of these initiatives is violence intervention. Because it's one thing to just lock up. That's not enough. We have to prevent. And we have to have the resources through this crime prevention, 963,000, that will give us the opportunity to work on preventive plans while we use the 2.4 to make sure that we have the science and the technology to make sure that we are doing the right thing at the right time, arresting the right people, and making sure that we're sending a message to criminals. Not in this city, not in this state. We're not going to tolerate it. And we're going to continue to partner with our mayor, with our police chief, with our commissioner, with our members of the city council to make sure that every federal dollar that is within our reach, we will continue to fight to bring back to Louisiana, and in this case specifically to the city of New Orleans, to make sure that the full faith and credit of our federal dollars will be here to partner with the experts that are on the ground doing the hard work. I want to give a shout out to our police chief and the men and women of NOPD who put it on the line every single day. So this is as much about them and giving them the tools to be able to do their jobs, to push back against crime, and to make our city safer. So I am proud to announce this nearly $4 million to a cause that's so significant, and that is making sure that we have all the tools necessary to keep our community safe. I can't thank the mayor enough for her leadership, nor her team, because it takes a village. It takes the efforts of all players, local, state, and federal, to make a difference. And today is a great announcement, and I'm pleased to have played a small role in helping it happen. Next, I think I have the wonderful opportunity to bring up someone who has hit our town by storm. Hadn't been here a long time, but she's jumped in. I've seen her eating beignets and crawfish, announcing Mardi Gras parades, and most importantly, fighting crime. Amen. So give a big round of applause to our police chief, Ann Kirkpatrick.
Appreciate it. All right. Well, let's do this properly here. Well, good afternoon, and thank you, Congressman, very much. Fighting crime takes more than just manpower. It takes special tools, equipment, and programs like violence intervention, which reach into the community and work on the root causes of violence and crime. And that's why these funds are so crucial. We are so grateful to Senator Bill Cassidy and Congressman Carter for their support and their efforts on behalf of the NOPD and the community in securing these funds. The NOPD will be spending $2.4 million from Senator Cassidy on forensic technology and equipment to remain current in all forensic disciplines and to outfit the new DNA lab under our crime lab director, Dr. Kelly. Since January of 2023, when Dr. Kelly arrived to head the crime lab, she has worked tirelessly to continue our various accreditations and help the NOPD's crime scene unit to achieve accreditation, and that's national accreditation, for the very first time. She is focused on seeking accreditation in drug chemistry and the DNA unit, as well as building that unit, all of which takes funding to accomplish. Before I turn it over to Dr. Kelly, I want to say a special thank you to our mayor. This mayor is a woman who gets things done, and she is a genuine partner. And through her leadership, you are witnessing action and not just talk. She is not kicking the can down the street anymore. I am so grateful for your leadership. I am so grateful for your partnership, and through you, that we have all these partnerships and making things happen. Thank you, Madam Mayor. And now I'd like to turn it over to our leader of our crime lab, and that is Dr. Shamika Kelly. Dr. Kelly.
Thank you so much, Chief, for the introduction. I really appreciate it. I also want to extend my gratitude to Mayor Cantrell. Thank you so much for your leadership. Again, thank you so much, Congressman Carter, as well as Commissioner Stevens. Thank you so much for everything that you've done in order to bring us here today. Specifically, I also want to thank Senator Bill Cassidy for the $2.4 million, and this will outfit the crime laboratory for equipment that's going to be leading edge. It's going to have forensic software, forensic hardware. It'll have critical reagents for the equipment. We'll also be developing our CODIS division within the DNA unit. So this is very, very important. Since my appointment, we've made notable strides toward DNA accreditation. So what we've done is procedure development. These individuals behind me have been creating procedures from scratch, which takes time and it takes effort. And I thank y'all for the hard work that you do every single day. We've been able to create workstations, so setting up where we will do the work within the DNA unit. We've developed a training program that we're going to implement next week for body fluid identification. So we've been securing supplies, and we've hired 13 individuals for the DNA unit. I've built an army in that unit. I'm telling you, I'm bringing you something great, so I'm so excited. This appropriation is just another tremendous step toward DNA accreditation, and it's ultimately another pivotal resource that will help bring the fair and timely administration of justice, which is the cornerstone of our democracy. Evidence processing is indeed an integral component of the criminal legal process, and so we want to make sure that it's done with precision and expediency, and that is what this funding is going to do. Backlogs across the nation have tended to rise, and so part of that is because of evidence processing delays, and so we want to make sure that we put our best effort forward and we address those issues. So I'm incredibly excited to put this equipment to work. I cannot wait to bring you this. Again, Senator Bill Cassidy, thank you so much for this funding. It's going to be critical to advancing the DNA accreditation and bringing DNA testing here to the city of New Orleans. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, and I know, Dr. Begno, I know we had Ubuntu here in Ubuntu Village to just recognize and just really talk about root causes, meaning, Dr. Begno is here, and I know our leaders here from Ubuntu Village. You know, I am because we are. Yep, so I get that. And I just want to say thank you again. Thank you all for being here, and it's a great day. All right, thank you. Okay, thank you. All right.